What is going on, faithful traders? I'm Tony with Faithfully Trading. I'm going to show you guys my exact something I charge literally thousands of dollars for in order to get people to go from zero to profitable just like me. I'm going to give you guys my stats on my TradeZella, so the actual trades I've been doing, how I've been trading this the last probably 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm going to give you guys multiple different examples, different time frames, different styles, not just one counter trend trade, but with the trend, all of that stuff. So with that being said, remember, like I said, I charge a lot of money for this. So all I'm going to do is tell you guys, like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to come and watch me do this live, learn how to do this, get it better in depth. I do this every single day while I'm trading. I call the trades out. I explain why I took the trade, all of that jazz. If you guys want to do that, come on over and join the community, but you don't have to. I'm not trying to sell you in the community. I don't really care if you want to join or not join. I'm just here to try to give you guys real value and help you guys become actual profitable traders. So that way you can go to the prop firms and make 10, 20, 30, $40,000 a month doing this exact thing. As long as you guys are risking accordingly, you know what time frame to look at, and you know how to read it. I think you guys are going to be absolutely blessed. And I know you guys are absolutely blessed because God blesses us every single day. We just need to open up our eyes and ears and actually pay attention. So pay attention to this video. This is not something, like I said, I'm not just talking to talk. I'm taking time out of my Saturday to make this for you guys because I wanted to bless you guys with something that's been really crushing it for me. I have almost a 90% doing this. That doesn't even account for like break evens and stuff. So yeah, listen, this is going to be a crazy video. It might be like an hour long. So if you get bored, pause the video, come back to it, get a notebook out right now. Get a notebook out right now, okay? And write down what I'm about to tell you. Pause the video, save the video, come back and watch the video. If you do this next week and it's like, wow, this really does work, I'm absolutely, I'm going to be saying thank you, whatever it is. Make sure you come back, write down notes, pay attention, and re-watch this video if you have to. This is just going to be a giant information dump, essentially. I'm going to give you everything that I trade with up here in a video so that you guys can watch it, rewatch it, essentially, and hopefully, to God, you guys actually pay attention and get some value out of this. So with that being said, let's get started. The first strategy, and essentially the multitude of strategies I'm about to give you, is we're going to call this one counter trending the delta, okay? I'm calling this, actually, this is realistically what I call it in my playbook. I call this the triple threat. Triple threat is really easy. I mean, I've made it so easy that like I can teach this to my grandma who doesn't speak English, and she could trade and understand how to make money doing this. Now, there's a few rules to it. We're going to go over the rules at the end, if I remember correctly. If not, please let me know in the comments. I'm happy to post the rules in case I forget, because like I said, this is going to be like an hour-long video, and then I got to edit this and chop it down so it's not like 2 hours long. Anyways, so triple threat, super easy. What we need first is we're going to go in my delta settings. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to open up my data series here. Remember, this is all on NinjaTrader. If you're not trading on NinjaTrader, I cannot help you. I'm just going to tell you flat out. TradingView has their own settings. They're pretty much like stuck that way. TradingView, you can't really alter them as much as I can here on NinjaTrader. I don't know about any other firms or any other programs. I only trade on NinjaTrader 8. I trade Very, and I help some people with TradingView as well. But once again, very, very minimal amount of helping there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you guys, pause the video here, screenshot all of this. These are all my settings. You don't have to do the days. The days is just personal, but these are all my settings. I trade the 30-second. Yes, you can do this on the 1 minute. I've found in my testing probably the last week actually of doing this, that the 30-second works a little bit better, just because I can get a tighter stop loss, a bigger entry, or a better entry. And if I'm wrong, I can scale out of it or I can scale into it, just depending on how I'm feeling for the day, if the thing is crashing super hard, whatever it may be. So these are all the settings. Like I said, screenshot. I'll scroll down a little bit more, then pause again, screenshot here. Okay, good. Now we're going to go down to the CVD. We're going to do the same thing. Indicators, CVD. Move this up for you guys. Here's all the CVD stuff. So pause here, copy and paste. Cool. Now that we got that out of the way, triple threat works really, really easy. Something that literally I am up $24,000 on the month trading it with an 88% win rate. Oh yeah, if you guys don't believe me, here you go. Here you go. $24,000 on the month of October with an 88% win rate, doing this with a profit factor of 2.46. For all the people that are like, you can't have an 80% win rate day trading, you sure can. You sure can if you know how many points to look for. If you know what to do, you can totally do it. And I'll give you guys a few examples of triple threat. Yesterday, triple threat. So today is Saturday, the October the 18th. Yesterday was Friday, the 17th of October, 2025. I did not find what I deem as an A plus, my A plus triple threat, which would be an absorption with low volume. So market rips up, starts getting absorbed. I start seeing that absorption in the delta, the CVD prints with confluence, meaning that it prints together the same style. And then essentially I would short that or long that depending on the absorption. I didn't really get one. I got one all the way up here at 957. I do not trade past like 950. This only works, by the way, rule number one, real quick, is you can only trade this from like 932, 933. The market has to wake up at least 2, 3, 4 minutes up until like 950. There's about a 20-minute window where this works. Yes, the edge only works in theory about that first 20 to 30 minutes of market open. For me, I've noticed the best at like 15, 20 minutes. And you guys know, for the people who are in my community, you guys know I say, oh, it's 940. I already took like 2 trades based on the triple threat. I'm good. I locked up like $4,000 for the day. I'm cool. I'm gonna get out of here, right? Simple as that. So time frame wise, that's what you guys need to do. And then let's go into the theory now of like what I'm actually trading. Remember, this is something I charge a bunch of money for, to teach people actually how to do this. So we're gonna go first into I guess the first way to do it is we're gonna go into, I need to find a like perfect example of it. I guess that's the best way for you guys to actually learn. So something like here, even though this is not in the time frame, I just need you guys to understand why I would be trading this one here. So essentially, we need to see all 3 lining up in one direction, right? So if we imagined all of the charts here, we can look from starting down here at 945, we can see all of them doing essentially the exact same thing. We can see CVD, we can see regular candlesticks, and we can see the delta all printing bullish, meaning that there's a lot of buyers just wanting to push the market higher. I know for me that I can tell when I'm reading delta is that there's market weakness in certain areas, like here. There's what I call trapped sellers in this area. There's a little bit more trapped sellers up here. So we get that big rip up or that big rip down, doesn't matter. We know that where would I be targeting essentially, or where would I try to go for take profits, are going to be in these areas of trapped buyers, sellers. Doesn't always mean it. Sometimes I have a 15-point take profit and I get hit, like you guys have probably seen in my other videos. If you go on my YouTube shorts, there was like, I think it was yesterday, the day before, I literally took the short and it dumped in my favor like 17 points in the matter of like 5 to 10 seconds. It was immediately because the delta printed it beforehand, and then the information came out and it just ripped in my favor almost 18 points. So yeah, I'm just looking at these as take profits. So easily, let's just lock back in here. I'm doing this without a script, so my apologies. This is going to just be essentially like, I just want to see the candlesticks forming in one direction. I want to see what I see, which is I call essentially an absorption sandwich, if that makes sense. I want to see a sandwich, okay? All I want to see is a green down here to red rotation. We can see up here, massive green. We are at highs. Look at where we are. I don't need to look at future information. Market opened up over here, right? We have broken out of these highs. We have formed essentially like a smart money trap, or I could just call it an absorption sandwich, meaning that a buyer is stepping up here at 957, trying to push it higher. But guess what? Immediately 30 seconds later, somebody comes in and slams the bid with sells. I then can confirm it here. We look down at the CVD. I see a massive push up. I see the absorption happening at 9:57 and 30 seconds. I can confirm it. All 3 are in alignment. I've got a short at the top confirmed in the delta. I've got the CVD also confirming, not with a doji, but with a decent bodied CVD candle. And I can actually see down here as well, or up here as well, in the 30-second, the actual candlestick is also forming essentially bullish. Not really, I mean, you can consider it bullish engulfing, but just overall, it's pretty bullish. You then would short this, and then, of course, we would come down here. You have 2 take profit zones. Either one, you are essentially going to be going to these trapped sellers right here, where I highlighted in blue, which is roughly 28 points away, or B, the minute this trade is up on this candle here, this leg here, So on this 58.30 and you're up probably close to, let's say, 19, 20 points, I would cut the trade off, right? I'm not trying to hold this. I counter trend this, right? So actually, let's do this. Rule number 2 is I'm trading this for literally probably 10 to 15 points max. There are times where, yeah, I get really, really blessed and like the thing just shoots in my favor, minus 20, 30 points. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to cut the trade off. Like the other day, yesterday on Friday, I took only 10 contracts. And with 10 contracts, I took one trade yesterday. It was 2.6K in the matter of probably a few seconds, right? Very, very easy. That's why I didn't take this setup here, is because I was waiting for a setup, and I actually took this one here on a Doji, which I'll explain in the next process. We'll talk about the Dojis and the CVD weakness and how to counter trend that as well. But step one, really easy. Remember, we want to see market going in one direction. We want to find the sandwich, which is the A plus setup. That's the A plus. This is the one I'm most confident in. Like when I see this happening, I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. It's about to happen. It's about to go down or it's about to go up, because I just want to see ripping followed by absorbing, right? So I want to see market explode up. I want to see a big seller up there go, yeah, you think you're going to go higher from like 24,900? Bam, I'm going to absorb all of those buys. I'm just going to rip the market back down, whether it's 20, 30 points. Now, we can obviously see that in this example, the actual market ripped down 80 points. I am what I call a hyper scalper. A normal scalper would probably go for even more than this, but for me, I like keeping this 80, 90% win rate every month. I want to hold this 80 to 90% win rate every month, and I just want to continuously scalp that 5 points, 10 points, 15 points. Very rarely am I going for 20 points. Very rarely, unless, like I said, the market just explodes in my favor. Then I'll be like, wow, I'll close the trade. Like I said, yesterday happened to be 17 points, which was great. And I'm very blessed. So that's example number 1 of how to trade, essentially called Sesame Street. You just need to see a flurry of green candles. We need to see then these line up together. So big buying, pushing the candles up at a new area of high at the market open, then a sandwich coming in. So the sellers or the buyers doing the exact opposite, absorbing it. And then we can see here in the CVD, we can see it here in the candlesticks, all three, which is why it's called the triple threat. All three print the exact same. If this did not make sense, go back and rewatch it. Slow it down, write down notes. Very, very simple. I can teach this to my grandmother who doesn't speak English, and she could be making like $50,000 a month off of Apex doing this. Okay, so same example, triple threat, same play, the triple threat, new example. I'm going to show you guys why this is also, once again, another A plus setup. So we can see market opens here, 9:30, 30 seconds. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, all printing what? They're all printing bullish. That's right. They're all going up. Now, we can look here in my delta. We see I'm not really concerned about what these are printing down here until I start seeing that bright light activation. It's hitting my dopamine receptors. I'm going bing, 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 bing. It's like a signal in my brain to tell me, like, start hitting the button, start hitting the button, start hitting the button, right? So we can see here, we have all 4 lining up. What are we doing in the CVD? We're doing the exact same thing. Remember, they need to be in accordance with each other. They need to be in convergence, meaning they are all doing the same thing. They're all going up or all going down. In this example, we see 1, 2, 3, 4 all going up. 1, 2, 3 candles here. And this 4th one didn't print because it was a doji, so no big deal. But I'm seeing at least a minimum of 3, right? I'm not trying. It's not based on 1 or 2. It needs to be in the CVD, in my opinion. I like to see 3 plus in the CVD plus my actual candlesticks to all form the same. So we've got 3 here on the CVD. We have a huge spike up. We can confirm this massive spike up here with the delta and the delta change on here. Bright green. Remember, when I see this bright green, it is actually an indication for my little monkey brain to turn on and go, okay, what is going to happen next? Do I see bright red? Do I see the CVD also print a engulfing red or a bodied red? Do I also see the candlestick doing the same thing? Now, all you need to do is you wait for the sandwich that we talk about in the last example, which is, by the way, this is the same thing, just a different day, right? Same thing, just a different day. This is actually a much better example. This was right at market open. This literally within like the first 3 minutes of market open. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for CVD to print. I'm going to look at there's a clock down here that shows me the timer. The minute this thing prints bright red down here, showing me that there's some form of sellers still up there trying to be active. All we're going to do is hit the little short button. This went literally 16.25 point. Now, if you held this trade, realistically, it went 47 points. Once again, I'm not doing that. If you can take this and you can tweak this to your specific style. Do you want to go for like 30, 40 points? Do you want to go for 5 points? Do you want to go for 50 points? I don't really care. That's up to you. I'm just giving you the foundation of what I'm looking for, and which is how, once again, I have, let's go back here, 80%, almost 90% doing this over and over and over again, right? I also trade this, by the way, without a stop loss. So I'm risking according to my account size. If your account size is like you only have $2,500 of risk, yeah, you should not be going in on this, full porting it just because you see it, right? The market can do whatever it wants. That's why I don't have a 100% win rate, but I have an 80+% win rate, is because truthfully, it's very, very difficult to, like, sometimes you have to withhold. There's been times where I'm like, oh, I'm in 20 points of drawdown. If it doesn't print weakness in the CVD, I've got to exit. So I got to, close that trade, minus whatever, 5,000, minus 2,000, whatever it is that I'm trading. Do not risk your full account in hopes that, oh, this is it, super, super setup. This is it, this is it. I'm going to do $1 million in like a month doing this. If I thought that, I would be risking like 100 grand per trade. I'm not doing that. I'm risking a couple $1,000s per trade, essentially trying to make back that same thing. I want to be up 5 to 10 points, 15 points, and close the trade down immediately. Okay. So triple threat. We understand it. This is just part one of my entire Delta advanced playbook. Okay. So this is just part one. This is just triple threat. Okay. We got it. We good. Give us a thumbs up. Give me a like. Give me a comment. Say you love God. Let's keep going. I call this one we're essentially calling this this is essentially like a Doji style, right? A lot of people don't realize that there is power in the Doji if taken correctly. Like, I'm not gambling the dojis. I'm not assuming every single doji is just showing me market weakness. But if I can get a confirmation on it in my delta showing me that there is a buyer behind this doji and the CVD is also printing the same style, it gives me a little bit more confidence. I don't mind taking it. I'll even size down sometimes. Like I was the other day, I even sized down actually. I only did like 2-3 contracts just trading the dojis because I realized like I have to test these things out live, because if I don't test them out live, then how am I going to know the data, right? I can't put this in to a back testing software because essentially how would I weed out all these little inconsistencies? But if I do it live with really, really small amount of money, so like micros or even sometimes just a very, very petite, like 1 NQ or something like that, I don't mind being in drawdown. I don't mind even having to close a trade out and losing a trade if I'm doing this live testing, right? So this is just we're going to call this the Doji example. In the Doji theory, it's essentially the same thing. I want to see a rip in a direction from the market. So we can kind of zoom in here. We see that the market starts getting bigger and bigger here at 940. We can go down here in the CVD, 940. We can go here in my delta, 940. They're all printing the same thing. Market's going down. I'm not trading the CVD with the market. I'm a counter trend trader. If you guys take anything from this, you can reverse engineer this and you can actually trade this with the market. If you're like, yeah, I actually notice more consistencies trading this with the market than against the market, that's okay. I'm just here to give you the footprints. I'm just here to give you my settings. I'm here to show you like what it is in my 5 years of trading that I've amassed the knowledge in to trade like this. Like I said, I'm just trying to help you guys out to the best of my God-given ability. And I pray to God you ask for wisdom. Don't ask God for money, but ask God for wisdom. This is how I found out about this. This is how I developed these strategies. It's not by me. It's by when I felt lost, I felt confused in trading. I'm like, why is my trading not going well? Instead of asking God, like, God, pass my prop firm account. God, make me $50,000 a month. Ask God for wisdom and see what happens. And then start really paying attention. If this video pops up on your feed, if someone else's video pops up on your feed, if like randomly a book starts showing up and you're like, maybe I should read that book. There's things that God is pouring out into you that he is trying to guide you to be better in whatever endeavor you're trying to do, okay? So most importantly, get close to God, build a real relationship, ask God for wisdom, okay? So let's get back to the Doji example. Once again, we're going to see 940 and all three is lining up. We're dropping, we're dropping, we're dropping. We start getting dojis down here. Positive dojis, might I add, right? Positive dojis. 979 delta close on the CVD. We can start looking here. We have what I call, and I've made another video about this, but this is a more advanced version essentially than that one because this adds the CVD to it. This is called delta divergence, meaning that the candlestick is red, but the actual delta change is green, showing me that there is a buyer somewhere located at this area, call it 25,040, right? We know that there's a buyer somewhere down here in the midst of this. Now, do I really want to just randomly buy the 941 candle here and hope that it just jumps back up? Not really, because I can still see here in my CVD, it's still negative 988. But what I would like to do is I'd like to get a confirmation of saying, oh, okay, maybe there is somewhere, if I get in a doji somewhere, maybe there is a little bit of something happening. So we can go down here. I see 941.30. There's a doji printed. There is a positive delta close in the CVD, and there's a positive delta here as well, and delta change, meaning that we are starting to slowly roll over from a seller's market. They're starting to buy up the selling orders, and they're starting to try to push it back up. I can start slowly adding in here, slowly from here, right? Like I said, and then we're going to just try to do the same thing. If I still see a doji here, that means we're still okay because we're still finding market weakness down here. The sellers haven't just exploded and collapsed this thing. So we could buy here. You could even put a sell probably 5 to 7, that's about 8 points away. And of course we can go, and what we would do is if the market goes up from here almost 10 points, you have one of two options. You can either close the trade or go break even, right? That's up to you. I am, like I said, if I see 10 points and I see bing, for me, 10 points on most of the time I'm trading 20 contracts, that could very easily be, like $2,000. I'm going to take that $2,000. I'm going to say, thank you, God. I'm going to say, see you later, guys. Because I'm just that type of trader. I don't want to sit in the market all day. I don't want to sit here and go, yeah, I want to catch 50 points, 100 points, right? But like I said, I am just trying to scalp this. I see market weakness. I see the market weakness here in the dojis. I can confirm that there is a buyer essentially down here in my delta. The CVD is showing me a lot of weakness. You click the buy button and you just try to get out with your 10 points, whatever it may be. Now, of course, in this example, if you held this trade and you've seen here at the CVD, 942 and 30 seconds, all the way up here, we formed bright green, meaning that this thing is just pushing up. You can hold this trade and just do a trailing stop loss. The thing moved up about 31 points, which is pretty nice. It moved up about 31 points, but you don't have to. Like I said, you can very easily take your 10 points. As long as you are trading this at a 80% level, like I am, you don't really have to worry about the downside. Yes, if this goes against you and you're like, ah, man, I have to close this trade out, that's okay. You're going to have to close the trade out. This is why risk management is so important. Risk accordingly to the account size. Most of you are trading on prop firms. Most of you guys don't have $100,000 in a live account. You cannot risk $5,000, $10,000 without blowing the account. So trade according to your size. If you're trading a 50K evaluation or live account, whatever, do this on like micros. Do this on like 4 to 5 micros. Catch 15, 20 points. Rinse and repeat the formula. Hey, I'm only trading 5 micros. Yeah, I might only be making whatever, $200, $300 a trade, but it's okay because I'm very happy with catching $200 to $300. And if you guys missed that video, I talked about a video in my short recently of like, if you do $200 times 20 accounts, that's $1 million a year. Think about that. Just hold on for a second. $200, if you have 20 accounts on Apex, whatever firm, 20 accounts, if you do that, $200 a day on micros will make you $1 million by the end of one trading year. It's pretty nuts. But unfortunately, a lot of people gamble. A lot of people try to go, oh, I want to do this on 5 contracts and 10 contracts. I want to make $5,000 per account to make $50,000. Don't do that, okay? Be smart. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. You need to be in the game for as long as you can before you burn out, before you lose all your money. Don't do it that way, okay? So let's not do it that way. So this is just the Doji method, right? Just finding market weakness in here, making sure there is a buyer or seller apparent somewhere in it, and then essentially trying to go with that market weakness to catch yourself 5, 10, 15 points. Whatever you find in your back testing is the most profitable for you. This is another Doji example. Very, very easy. We can see market kind of going in one direction up here. We start seeing a Doji up here. We can confirm there's a Doji here. What do? I look for it right here, 938.30, 938.30. We can also see one extra thing, which I'll talk about in another style, which is another delta divergence thing. But we can see the delta right here in the CVD is going flat, meaning that they're losing steam up here. It's not, and we can see that in the actual candlesticks, we are going higher, but in the CVD, we're doing nothing but going lower. We're actually false breaking out. Then we're forming a Doji. I took this trade. This was the trade I said yesterday that I literally clicked it, was up 15 points, and I closed the trade out immediately. Like the minute I seen I was up 15 points, I shut the trade down. Now, had I held this trade, look at that. I went 44 points in 30 seconds. That's the power of understanding how to use this correctly, how to minimize that stress, how to like really look at like, okay, what do these dojis mean, right? 40 and 30, like up here, I have 9:30 in 30 seconds, 9:38 in 30 seconds. We can see that it's negative in the CVD, the candlestick's negative, the actual delta itself up here is also negative. I had no option, but it's essentially like, it might not be my A plus and it might not be the triple threat. The triple threat's my A plus. This is still for me like a B to B plus. I sized in with only 10 contracts. Usually I do 20. I only went in with 10 on this one. Like I said, I'm reducing my risk. The worse the trade is, the more and more I reduce the risk, right? So if it's like my A plus, it's 20 contracts. If it's a B, it's typically 10, 15 contracts. If it's like a C and I'm just kind of like, I just want to see if I can capture a couple of points, it'll be like 1, 2, maybe 3 contracts, and I'll kind of DCA out or in them, just depending on how I'm feeling that day, how's the market reacting that day, whatever it may be, right? So this is just another good example of market weakness in the CVD, but that actually we're showing something else. So hopefully you guys understand that. Like I said, go back and rewatch. This is play 2 of the Delta series, and we're just looking for these dojis, finding a doji somewhere, trying to find a doji as well at the top or a bottom of an area, and then just shorting or going with it. Simple as that. So this is the last play in my entire Delta playbook. This is the one where I'm going to be more or less kind of like less contracts, maybe 5 contracts, something like that, something smaller just to reduce my risk. But this is divergence. Okay. So essentially what I'm looking for is the opposite. I want to see market essentially. We can look at here in this example. We can see that in the CVD, in the Delta, if I can actually, what time are we at? 10:58, 10:50. Is this on the same 15th? Yeah. 10:58. So we can see market pulling up. We can then see the market's pulling up. We're starting to get weakness up here at 11 a.m. At 11 a.m., we can confirm we're getting that weakness. But you might think like, oh, you know, market might push higher. But as you can see, we can kind of look here in the Delta, right? And we can see that the candlesticks themselves are actually going lower. Where were we? We got to go back. I got to figure out. We're going to go and try to find divergence, right? So we're going to zoom in here. We're going to see that the actual candlesticks up here are printing higher. But if we look down here in the actual CVD, we can draw a line. We know that the CVD is actually going higher, but the candlesticks are going lower. What does that mean? We have opposites happening. We have something telling us that there is weakness. One is printing higher than the other. Once again, I'm using this on really, really small sizing. I'm not doing this on like 10 contracts. I'm doing this on maybe a couple of contracts if I'm going to do divergence, just because it's not as powerful as the other ones for me personally, but it can still work out really nice. It just depends on you. So we can see candlesticks themselves are forming higher, 25, 115. But here in the actual CVD, when we zoom in, we can see that they break above. And then here at 11 a.m., 11 a.m., 11 a.m., we can see that all of them are lining up for getting ready for some form of short. Essentially, you try to take this short, you're up about 8 points. If you held it in confirmation that you can see, right, like, oh, the CVD is still printing weakness here at 11:02:30, and we pushed high here, but in here we're not. We're actually still, so we're trying to go back up. in the actual candlestick, in the actual order flow of the market. But we can see here that the actual CVD is printing lower. These are at equal highs, but this is printing lower. You could, in theory, try to hold it. Once again, for me, my style of trading, if I'm up 8, 9 points, whatever it may be, I'm closing the trade out. So this is just, this one I don't love as much. It's a little bit harder for newer people to read in comparison to the triple threat and the Doji. Those are two of the ones where I will put more money behind because I'm just more confident in them. The Delta Divergence, I will use this this triple threat, essentially Divergence strategy. But once again, it's really quick scalps. It's really fast. It's got to be like in and out. I'm not trying to hold a trade forever. Regardless, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the video for you guys. If you guys stuck around this long, you guys are more than welcome to. If you guys want to, please come over, join the community. I teach you guys how to do this every single day. I'm calling these trades out. I'm telling you, well, look, there's failed areas here. Here's liquidity. Here's where we're getting in. Here's where we're exiting. Or sometimes it just happens so fast where I'm like, I'm shorting, bam, I get filled out. Or I'm like, I'm shorting, bam, look at that. Wow, I got to close a trade, right? So if you guys want to learn how to do this live, execute this, get the education. The education is most important. Watch this video, save this video, come back, rewatch this video, copy all my settings. If there's anything else I can do for you guys, please shoot me a comment on YouTube. Come on over to the community, ask me in person, whatever it may be. Most importantly, give your life, trust in Christ with your life every single day. Continue to walk in your faith with God because that is the most important thing. This doesn't matter. As much as I enjoy making, 50 grand a month or whatever it may be from trading, more importantly is my relationship with God. And I pray that you guys continue to build a real, honest, heartfelt relationship with God, not just a, hey, give me something, God, and, hey, cool beans. Thank you for making me 50 grand a month, 100 grand a month. Now maybe I'll read the Bible. No, we need to change from the inside out. We need to change first to have a real relationship with God, trust in God, love God, walk with God, do it all with, for, and through God. In Jesus' name, I pray, amen. I'll see you guys in the next video. I pray that this video blesses you and that you can become a much more profitable trader using my strategies. If you need anything, once again, shoot me a message. You guys have an absolute blessed day.